Hey YouTubers, Wayne Adkins back again with another installment of An Atheist Discusses Biblical Inerrancy. This time I want to talk again about the crucifixion time frame, but this time it'll be more about whether or not Jesus ate the Passover meal. If you ask the four Gospels whether Jesus was crucified before or after the Passover, they'll all chime in after, except for John. The chronology for the crucifixion is different in John, and the indications are not subtle. John 19:31 says, "Therefore, because it was the preparation day, that the body should not remain on the cross on the Sabbath, for that Sabbath was a high day, the Jews asked Pilate that their legs might be broken and that they might be taken away." There's no problem fixing John's chronology there. He says that Jesus died on the preparation day, which is the day that the Passover feast is prepared. And earlier, in John 18:28, when Jesus was being tried, he says that they led Jesus from Caiaphas unto the hall of judgment. And it was early, and they themselves went not into the judgment hall, lest they should be defiled, but that they might eat the Passover. So he's saying they didn't want to go into the judgment hall because that would defile them and they wouldn't be able to eat the Passover meal. Then John 19:14 says that Pilate delivered Jesus back to the Jews on the day of the preparation of the Passover. The Last Supper is mentioned in John, but not as a Passover meal. In fact, John 13:1 says, "Now before the feast of the Passover, when Jesus knew that his hour was come, and that he should depart from this world unto the Father," and that statement leads into the supper. "Then after supper, when Jesus said to Judas, 'What you do, do quickly,' John says that some of the disciples thought that Jesus had sent him to buy the things that they would need for the feast." Obviously, if they had just eaten the Passover meal, he would not be sending someone to buy the things that they need to prepare for the Passover meal. Now, so John makes it pretty clear. Says that they took the body off the cross because it was the day of the preparation for the Passover. It says that when they went to the judgment hall, they didn't go in because they didn't want to defile themselves and they wanted to eat the Passover meal. And John says that the disciples thought that when Jesus sent Judas out, he was sending him to buy things to prepare for the Passover meal. So it's very obvious in John's chronology that Jesus did not eat the Passover meal. So what are the other Gospels? How clear are their chronologies? Luke is probably the most obvious. Chapter 22, verse 7 begins the account with, "Then came the day of unleavened bread, when the Passover must be killed." It goes on to relate the circumstances in which they found the room in verses 9 through 12, prepared the Passover in verse 13, and ate the Passover meal, verses 14 through 20. So John said he was dead on the day of preparation. Luke says he ate the Passover meal. Could he have eaten the Passover meal earlier than everyone else in anticipation of his death? No. The Feast of Unleavened Bread was held at a designated time each year for a reason. In the first month, from the 14th day to the 21st day, as commanded in Exodus chapter 12. To eat the Passover meal on a day any other than the Passover would have broken God's commandment given in Exodus. Would have ruined the whole lamb without blemish mystique that the writers are trying to paint here for Jesus as the lamb sacrificed for our sins. So you got three gospel writers who say that Jesus ate the Passover meal, and then you have John hanging it out there, and lots of different references in John indicate that he died on the day of the preparation of the Passover. He never ate the Passover meal. Why am I doing this? Again, you know, if you're a biblical inerrantist and you believe that every word of the Bible is true, that it's inspired by God, and that it's all factual, then you have to reconcile this. How there can be discrepancies like this between the gospel accounts. It may seem like a trivial or an inconsequential matter, but you know, over and over again, I'm pointing out things that two equally inspired biblical accounts disagree on, and you know, truth can't disagree with truth. At least one of these accounts are wrong. And for those inerrantists out there who say that everything in the Bible is true, how do you reconcile these? How do you reconcile that? How do you say with a straight face that there are no errors in the Bible, that the Bible doesn't contradict itself? How do you reconcile them? Let me know.